You're listening to the Lux Life Discovered podcast, where we talk with people who are living a lifestyle that reflects their passion, because we believe everyone should be living their best life, their Lux Life. The show is hosted by Rick Steiner with Steiner Event Group, a premier national event planning company, and co-hosted by Shannon Richmond, the Vice President of the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell to get notifications of future episodes. The show is produced by 30A Media and is broadcast on your favorite podcast outlets, as well as YouTube, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TVs, and other major brand smart TVs.
Hello, I'm Rick Steiner. Welcome to Lux Life Discovered. My guest today is local author CG Abrams. So CG, great to have you with us today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So goodness, there's so much to cover with this. I'm trying to think where to begin to make sure I don't miss anything. But you're local, which is in itself is rare to find a local person that's still here, that has stayed here, because so many people have moved into the area. So, and you're a published author. And tell me a little about this book that makes it unique from some of your other books.
Okay, that is so interesting because during the pandemic, I started writing coffee table books. And it just was a tinkering idea of hand-drawn mermaids and little stories for early readers. And it just kind of grew a little bit. But when the pandemic hit, things changed, dynamics changed, and I wanted to be sure that everyone had smiles and joy. So I'm thinking, how can I make the beach come alive and bring that, to people who travel? And, we have a lot of tourists and people who come to Florida.
Right.
And I was making handmade mermaid crowns at the time. And all of a sudden, I thought, this crown has a story. So it developed. I'm an artist also. I paint and do things. So this was my first hand drawn, not AI, absolutely hand drawn. This is artwork also from one of my paintings. So I wanted to make it authentic and as real as it possibly gets, the most joy, vibrancy of the ocean. So real quick about the pandemic, I had to put a pause on this book. It was halfway done, and I was in real estate school at the time, and I got sick. I got COVID, and it was the dreaded Omicron BA.2.5, and I didn't think I was going to make it. So I had 10 days of praying to God, if I survive this, what would you have me do? And I heard in my spirit, not only are you going to survive, but you're going to come out more alive and well, because there is a message to get out, joy and lots of it. So I said, okay, so what do I do? And as soon as I got well, I took my real estate exam and failed it.
Oh, no.
And then my book got published at the same time and took off like a rocket. So that was my sign of I was on the right track.
Yeah.
And from there, I have been able to bless others, make people smile, and bring the joy that I think it was originated from it.
How exciting. Isn't that funny or odd how a mixed blessing was in that situation? Because what if you had passed your real estate exam? A lot of what ifs could come into play. But yeah.
Yes, for sure. And so what I did, I designed it as a parent. And what would I want my children to be reading? And I want to bang for the buck. You buy a book for your kids or your grandkids, and they're expensive. You pay $15 for maybe a 30-page picture book, and you donate it or it gets lost in the shuffle somewhere. So I designed 103 pages. Look how thick this is.
That is, yeah.
Of action-packed goodness. So there's recipes in here, interactive games, and this is what I created. It's called Floridian Postcard Art. This is art that I have drawn and taken from other parts, and
Okay.
created something so unique. So hopefully it takes off. Floridian postcard art, because Florida is unique in itself. And
Oh,
we love the whimsical, we love the unique,
yes.
and it's also a Christmas book designed for the panhandle, how we Floridians celebrate Christmas.
Well, that's really interesting because, when you're in a warmer climate like here, it's different. The whole celebration is different because I'm used to being like in Kentucky and it's cold and we get some snow after Christmas. Of course, last year you guys got more snow than what we did, which is really weird. But it's a different feeling because it's warm and the lights, but it is a magical feeling because it's still Christmas. So
That is so true. People ask me all the time, do we put up trees? How do we celebrate? And yes, you will go to the beach and see a Christmas tree. I think we're more festive, like you said, even though it's warm here. It's different. And yes, we got our first snow. I cannot believe
I
it.
know
Do I predict snow this year? We might get a white Christmas.
wouldn't that be wild? Yeah, everybody I work with down there, they were just like amazing. Their children, most of them, that's the first time they've seen snow. So, and the nice thing about it snowing there is that it's gone in 2 days, and you don't have all the traffic issues. So that's a good part too. So, double
Yes.
blessing on that. So, how did you begin? When did you begin writing, or even have the inclination that that's what you'd want to do at some point?
Okay, and I'm going to say this for all the young aspiring authors out there. I started out small, writing poetry, entering contests, and people laughed. They thought I was silly and what am I going to do with this? I stayed the course. I stayed the game. I worked as a waitress. I've had work in factories, but I never stopped writing. And I ended up writing newsletters for churches and got in magazine articles, here and there. And I thought, well, that's good. So I did a autobiography and that got published. And that was good, but that just wasn't my heart. Something just wasn't satisfying. I guess the talent or what I had going on.
Right.
So I just kept writing and writing, and over time, like I said, it developed. But something clicked here at the beach. Something happened when people were liking jellyfish and seahorses. Mermaids at the time weren't exactly popular yet. And there's something about mermaids that always bring, I guess, mystery, a little bit of myth, folklore, folk
Right.
tale, dreaming, bedtime stories. And that's what I think hit home. Once I made a mermaid crown and held it in my hand, I wish I had one with me. It just snapped. And I hope that this is just the beginning of a whole series that
I was
I
going to say,
can give
would there
to
be
others.
yeah, that could lead to a lot of different roads and avenues and adventures for sure. So okay, so this book, you not only wrote it though, you did all the art, all the illustrations, and you also published it, correct?
Yes.
Wow.
This right here, it's about a 10-year-old mermaid boy, and he loves everything whimsical, flying a kite. But this is about tourism. He and his family come to Florida for the first time, and they stay at a CB&B, and they meet his Grammy and Pop Pop while they're there.
Okay.
And so they stay at a place called Seahorse Dreams. And it goes through the entire process of what it's like renting a home here and visiting with cousins and grandparents. They take lots of selfies. And he's at that awkward stage in his life. So every time they want to take a selfie with him, he runs and hides. So it's not only a cute story, it's got so many different avenues in there that I don't think the story will ever be boring.
Right. Well, that's fun. Yeah. So what's the response been with the book so far? And when was it released and how has the response been?
It started out slow because being an indie author and publisher, it's really hard swimming your way through the
Right.
competition, so to speak. But mine's a niche, and I got a lot of great feedback. Actually give it as gifts and things. And I would say, please leave a review and tell me what you think. I need honest feedback. And you're not going to believe this. I got so much great feedback. One touched my heart, and I've got to mention it. So it's a little girl and the grandfather. He said, please let me get one of your books. I would love to give it to my little granddaughter. She's 4. And I thought that is perfect. So I signed it and I said, just let me know how it is. So about 2 weeks later, he said, she can't go anywhere without it. Every time they go to put her in the car to go to daycare, she says, mermaids, mermaids. And they have to go in and get the book for her.
Oh, that's great.
So
Yeah.
those things like that are just amazing to me. So I would love to hear more feedback. Of course, you know, it's
Well,
part of being the author in the journey.
sure. And you were mentioning, okay, you mentioned earlier about like staying the course when people laughed at your dreams and wonder why you were doing it. And it takes an author to be a very self-driven, motivated person, because not only had you stayed the course there, but also the publishing and promoting. That's a job in itself.
Yes, I am my own acting agent.
Yeah.
I actually got a spot on WJHG TV, News Channel 7 at 4. And that also helped jumpstart it. That was an amazing event. And you're my second
All
podcast
right.
on this journey, which I am a former podcaster. So that kind of helps,
Okay. Yeah.
with a presence here. So if you are
Right.
ever looking for a fill-in, I'm your girl.
All right. So where do you see the possibilities going with this? And yeah, we'll just start with that one. Yeah. I've got about 5 different things going through my head at one time. So,
Merchandising. Okay,
okay.
now that comes with the mermaid crowns, the handmade mermaid crowns. I would love to make a package where they can get the crown, the book, and I also have playing cards. They are part of it. It's called
Okay.
Fisher Fins, and inside the book, he plays Fisher Fins with the Grammy and Pop Pop.
Nice.
And it's like war. I know we all played that growing up. So whoever spells FINS or FISH, fins are the trump. So
Okay.
if you get that, you pick up the cards. So I would love to see a package deal at some point. I just don't know exactly how that works yet.
Oh, I have no doubt you're going to figure that out. So,
Thank you. Yeah.
but okay, good. I've got to have a 7-year-old granddaughter who is going to love this. So what ages do you recommend for this book?
Around 2 to 11.
Okay.
Because early reader, they're advanced way more than we were growing up, and we all belong to book clubs.
Right.
So I would say as an early reader, because it is a picture book, and I think it would be a great first learning, because it's just got a little bit here, but can kind of give you an idea of what's
Sure.
happening.
Yeah.
That is not chicken or KFC. That's actually sea leviathan. It's one of his favorite dishes.
Okay, interesting. Well, yeah, we've got let me see, 3-year-old grandson, 1-year-old granddaughter, and a 7-month-old grandson. So anytime they're home from Louisville or Cincinnati, I mean, my wife spends so much of her time reading books to them. So this will be in the mix for sure.
Oh, and the Audible. So it's got Kindle, Audible,
Oh,
paperback,
really?
and hardcover. And I
Okay.
had a talented young lady do the narrations, and I ended up doing the editing and putting in some sound effects, which is hilarious. Oh, I've got to tell you this before you even get there. It'll be a surprise for you.
Right.
So, being that he loves to eat and eat good food, he burps really loud. And in the narrations, She does such a fabulous job as a 10-year-old boy. And I put little quirky things in there like that, because they are natural. And when you experience, such things, I really wanted to make it as smooth and gentle as possible.
Right. Oh, that's gonna be fun. I can't wait. That's good. So what was the hardest part about bringing this to life? I mean, I know you had the pandemic and then being an independent author. What was another challenge that you faced with this?
Oh boy, that is a good one. I actually have about 4 jobs and only one pays the bills.
I
So
understand.
I work all the time, and I actually own a cleaning company here in the Panhandle. So I was hit with lots and lots of work. I never had time. And I was so tired at the end of the night, and something inside of me just kept saying, keep going, keep going. I know it's bedtime. You have 10 minutes to hit the sack. And I would take that 10 minutes and put into the editing and put it into the colors and put it
Wow.
into all the formatting and everything. So even though that 10 minutes seemed like 10 minutes, it actually was timeless. It's like time stopped and allowed me to break through that barrier. And still to this day, my peers don't know that I'm an author. I don't,
Isn't that
go
funny? Yeah.
around selling it or telling it, because, that might come off as a little different. So I let people kind of have the mystery. And then when they find out, like, I had no idea, so
Oh, that's
I like it.
yeah. So what kind of you said plane? What kind of company did you say you have?
It's a cleaning
Cleaning
company for
company. Okay,
vacation
I thought you
rentals.
said plane. I'm like, good gracious, how in the world? But even the cleaning part, good gracious, that's
Yes,
you were busy all the time then. Yeah, yeah.
yes,
Well,
for sure.
yeah. Well, that's a good thing though. So I'm just amazed by this. It intrigues me how you take a thought, but again, my whole podcast concept is based on people living their passion. And so this obviously you're a great example who pursued your passion, and your passion kind of kept coming out and dominating what you should do.
Ah, yes. And I do want to help others. I want to use this platform to not only give back to the community, but a way to bring smiles into hospitals, maybe,
Mhm.
or those who are less fortunate and have some kind of avenue um, to do this. But like I said, I'm just now starting out. So I would love to even have suggestions from you guys. If you know of any way I can. Like I said, give back. I'm a community member, and that's what it's all about.
Wow, that is great. That is great. So when people find out it's you that wrote the book, what is their response?
To be honest, got haters.
Really?
Oh
Okay, I
yeah.
wasn't expecting that. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
they're everywhere. No,
wow. Okay.
I have supporters. Don't get me wrong, I do have
Yeah, yeah.
supporters. I have way more supporters than I do haters. So how do I tackle the haters? I would tell them as if they were my best friend. Don't let any negativity keep you from your own dreams.
Right. That's
So
good.
you might be jealous today, but I want you to take that and turn it into a positive and make your own path. Because when you do that and you focus on you and not focus on other people, your path becomes so smooth. It's almost like a rocket.
Yeah.
So, I would say to haters, don't waste your energy in it. Really, take that same energy and put it into your path. So.
What the haters are because they're jealous of the success or that you were able to do this or what?
Yeah, because it's a fiery spirit. And not everybody has that. And
True.
so when
True.
they see somebody really fighting for what they want, they look at their own life and think, wow, I wish I could have done that, or I wish that. So what do they do instead? They want to say, oh, I hope it blows up in their face. No.
Right.
But really that is a reality that we all face. And like I said, what I would say to anyone, doesn't matter who it is, don't let one negative thought, not even the first one, come to any fruition. Go ahead and
That's
turn it into a
good.
positive, use that as fuel, and tackle your own dreams, because, we all have to look out, not just for number one, we have to look out for each other.
Right. And then we can't let somebody else's hate or jealousy ruin our passion or what we believe in. Because one of my big things I live by is that I would never want to live down to someone who's never had the guts to live to their own potential. Because so many times we're caught in this little idea or bubble of what's accepted, what's not accepted, or what we should do or shouldn't do. And most of the time that comes from people who have never stepped outside their own bubble, but they can sure give you good advice on yours. And so I've never wanted to limit myself by those people, period. And my wife probably wishes I would, because her life would be easier, because whenever I come up with a good project or new little ambition, I think she thinks, oh my gosh, here we go again, but she's always supportive. She's right there with me. And so that's good. But so, okay, we know we're going to do another sequel at some point. I was going to ask you, where do you go from here? But let me ask you this too. Mermaid boy, why didn't you choose a girl?
For that very reason. I wanted to actually reach everyone. I wanted to
Okay.
reach a greater audience, and I guess touch in the fact that we're all made different. We all have our own strengths and weaknesses. And yeah, I think it's because it made the quirkiness even greater.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah. I was just curious. Yeah. So if you could do something as a result of this book that would benefit a group of children, what do you think that would be?
Mm,
Kind
I
of a
have
tough.
this dream
uh,
of traveling and going on book signings, but doing it like a book truck, like a food truck, but a book wagon, and going into neighborhoods where they are a little bit less fortunate, and be able to have a book giveaway, a book drive, some sort of incentive in populated areas that don't have such, avenues like that.
Right. Oh, I could
Or a
just
push
see.
cart. I thought maybe like a little vending cart at some point,
Yeah.
and setting up just a little mermaid booth. I couldn't dress as a mermaid, but I would like to hire someone who would dress as a mermaid, and just have fun with it all day long. Oh,
Right.
in Alice Beach, that's where they came, actually. So while
Okay.
we're speaking of 30A in the area, they arrive to 30A, and Grammy and Pop Pop make them get souvenirs, and
Uh-huh.
it's a t-shirt with Alice Beach,
That's
Florida
great.
on it. So yeah, I had to put this lovely area in here because it is an area like no other.
That
You
is
just
true.
step
I
back in
do.
time.
Yeah. And I do like how you incorporated everything local into your book, because sometimes, you could have gone with being mystical and magical in some unknown land or pretend area, but you kept it local and you brought out some good features as well.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it was challenging, 103 pages. This actually took about a year and a half.
Wow.
So when you asked when I started a Mermaid's Crown book series around 2017, 2018.
Okay.
And when they got published, because it takes months and months to go through the publishing process and the copywriting and everything. So around 2017, one came out 2018, and they were just small, easy readers. That this is only the first of this kind. So I started writing this around, like I said, I was halfway finished through it when I caught COVID in 2022. So really, it came out around 2023,
Okay.
right at the new year of 2023. So it's fairly new. It's got some great reviews on Amazon.
Good.
I do book signings here locally. I would love to do some more. Barnes and Noble, I put my pitch into them. So hopefully they can see this. Hi, Barnes and Noble, pick me.
Right.
Yes.
Give me a call. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so when you're with the local book signings, that has to be. I know your big book signings would be are going to be exciting as well. But for local book signings, I'm sure that's pretty rewarding and exciting as well to have, since it's all local, to have the local people so excited about it.
Yes, the first signing and the only one I've only done one was Hidden Lantern Bookstore in Rosemary Beach,
Okay.
and it was fabulous. I met so many great, amazing people that day. And one little girl, I had a mermaid crown as a door prize giveaway. She walked away with it, and it was magical. But the best part and rejection, this is something every author has to accept when they get rejected. Do not take it personal. Do not take it to heart. Use that as fuel, once again, to go and strengthen your abilities to do better and brighter into it. So I would have people run past my table. Yeah. And
Wait a minute. Get back here. Yeah.
yes. And, I did not take that personal, even though I knew a lot of them were going to the children's book reading and they would come out, with packages, and things. I thought, this,
Today.
don't take it personal.
Yeah.
This is a learning curve. This is all part of the process. So the few that I did have come through there that bought the book, that signed and got everything, walked away truly blessed. I was blessed. So even if I just reached one person, that was success to me.
Oh, that's great. And I like to have you been open about the haters, about rejection, and you're covering it all, and your attitude is so positive and encouraging that that's the way it should be, because that's how you deal with not only this but everything in life, is the way it should be handled.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true. And also when I'm not here and in the winter and I do write and paint and do other things like that, I'm learning how to play the ukulele.
Oh,
Because
really?
something
Okay.
about the beach and the ukulele too, and that's really hard. I'm a lefty,
Oh,
so trying to learn how to play the ukulele right-handed,
right. Yeah.
uh, it's like another language. But I think that too helps with my writing, because if I hit a writer's block, I will, start learning some chords and getting a pattern going. And as soon as I'm done with that, it's like it just opens up the airwaves of creativity and I go right back to it.
That's a creative spirit. My oldest son gave my granddaughter a ukulele a couple of years ago. And it was before she could say it, and she'd have called it ukulele. And she goes, I want to play my ukulele. And I'm like, ukulele. Yeah.
I
So,
love it.
but well, no, this is very interesting. And I'm thinking of merchandising for you here. A set of beach towels with the different pictures from the book.
Oh, yes, yes, for sure.
Yeah. So
I
yeah, I'm already thinking of things for you. Okay.
I
I know
made
you
a
don't need me to
pitch.
help you, but I'm, my mind's
No,
already
I
working.
I love that. I made a pitch to some property managers, and because I'm an entrepreneur, I'm always like you, thinking of better ways to improve. And I said, what if you put my books in, because I could give you a very good discount rate, especially in bulk, and you put them in your properties for your guests,
Yeah.
or even souvenirs, something they could take home with them. And I haven't got any response, with those yet. One person said, "Oh, I'd love to have the book. If you would drive it to me, I'll take a look at it." And of course, at the time, I thought, I'll go out of business if I do that with
Right.
everybody. So I have to be shrewd. I have to be a shrewd businesswoman, and that's part of the learning too. If you're ever in business, you already have to know the word no sometimes,
Yeah.
because we can get in corners that we didn't like.
Right. Yeah. And if you don't value what you bring to the table, no one else will either. Always remember
That's so true. That is
that.
so true.
Yeah, I learned that early in life. So yeah, yeah. But it's very true. And the same people that will want you to basically do it for them for nothing will be the same ones that will charge you full price for what they have to offer.
Oh,
So,
you are
yeah.
so true.
It's amazing when you get 66, the things you learn and can reflect on and think, yeah, I'm not my first rodeo. Yeah. So, but it's good.
Yeah.
So, well, listen, I know I could talk to you a long time. Goodness, I'm excited to see where this goes, to see the success that you're going to have, and then also the sequels and everything else that comes your way.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited too. I'm ready. And I'm ready to bust open these cards right here and ready to win a game.
Okay, good deal. Well, I tell you what, we're going to put your information up so that people can contact you. And so if you need books for your properties, for your grandchildren, for your schools, whatever, make sure you contact CG and she can get that information to you. So, yeah. So, well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time to be on the podcast today.
Yes, thank you. I
I
hope you
look
have me
forward.
again. And I'm like you, I could just have a conversation all day long.
Okay, great. I look forward to meeting you in person soon as well.
Yes, love to do it.
All right. Well, that concludes our episode of Lux Life Discovered. We will see you soon.
Yes, thank you. Have a good day.
Check out Lux Life Discovered on Facebook and Instagram and on 30a.tv. See you next time on Lux Life Discovered.